The winged demon appears out of nowhere, catching a lonely boy by surprise. Upon closer look, we discover it's actually a succubus with body proportions larger than an extra-large jumbo combo meal. She begins engulfing the boy with her arms, but he doesn't move, probably because he's mesmerized by the fat, large, double twin dragons about to collapse onto his face. Seconds later, Bro finds himself barely able to breathe due to the pyramids of Giza urging him to row her boat. Regardless, she softly whispers in his ear and asks if he would like to do it, to transform into his full form, as he's been a half-E, half-human, half-demon. The boy replies with a yes without any hesitation, full of anger and distraught since humans have always treated him badly. And so dark energy began flowing into his body, slowly evolving him into a Chad while a purple aura begins to surround him. Eventually, he finishes his transformation and turns into Chadamus Prime, fully equipped with unknown powers coupled with your typical anime demon mark. Anyways, the succubus calls out his name, which we learn is Evan, to tell him that he has now evolved into an incubus and she will teach him his new powers at a later time. Fast forward to the next morning inside a massive castle, we get greeted by a gigantic bakery coming from one of the maids within the castle. Suddenly, Miss Big Whopper gets startled by a noble yelling for even in the next room, making her almost drop some of the delicious food she's cooking. Nonetheless, the noble quickly finds Evan and sends him straight to the ground and tells him to stop being lazy, so it's time for you to subscribe. After getting punished by the large man for not liking this video, a couple other servants come to pick him up from the ground and end up passing the blondie named Alina. She tries her best to avoid the boys since she wants no part of any trouble, knowing full well that the servants continually beat up our homie every day. This time feels different though, as Evan looks like he's about to enter his anime villain arc, but he gets distracted a little bit by Alina's watermelons after seeing it wiggle for sure. Nonetheless, she continues on her way to drop off breakfast for the madam of the house, and we instantly see why she's the lead ma'am since she got a double-decker larger than Alina. With breakfast served, the madam starts urging Alina to look for a suitable husband because she's in her prime now, and if need be, she can help introduce her to anyone she wants. Alina refuses the offer, not wanting to leave her side since she wants to repay the favor for the madam being the nicest person she's ever known. She promised herself to stay as long as she could, feeling pity for the madam as she never deserved a husband like Sir Carlson since she routinely witnesses him do the Chris Brown. Anyways, their talk get interrupted as Alina rushes out of the room, noticing Evan get dragged by the servants through the window. But before she could intervene at the end of the hallway, she almost trips on all the servants groaning on the ground, looking like they all got destroyed by a monster. After taking a moment to soak it all in, she looks up and sees Chadamus Prime flexing his muscles, causing Alina to have an accidental water leak due to his sheer presence. Bro then smirks before grunting what's good to Alina, looking like he's trying his best to become exactly like my idol Henry Cavill. We then skip straight to nightfall, where we find Alina busy resting in one of the castle rooms, but all she could think of is Evan, wondering if something happened to him because his aura is totally different now. Eventually, she snaps out of her dream state and proceeds to search for Sir Carlson, knowing that if she doesn't find him soon, then he's going to come back absolutely blasted. With the noble nowhere to be found, Alina gets absolutely furious knowing that the madam is going to again be treated like a banana holster tonight, so she readies for Plan B. But just as she was making sure no more weebs were going to accidentally be created tonight with Plan B, she runs into our boy and tells him to hide quickly, as Carlson will beat his bum up if he sees him. However, Bro has no care in the world anymore, so he tells Alina that he's here waiting for the lady to get her rice cake smash, causing Alina to be absolutely dumbfounded by what she just heard. Loud bangings then erupt from the end of the hallway nearby, causing Alina to tremble as she doesn't want the lady to get in trouble, knowing that it's probably Sir Carlson trying to get in. Mere seconds later, Carlson starts yelling for them to open the door as Master is here, but the doorman is nowhere to be found. At the same time, Evan's eyes disappear, so we know things are about to get real, so he ends up muttering to Alina that the lady is probably going to receive some extra love tonight from an angry noble. After enough time, the door breaks open from the sheer force of Carlson's fat rebounding into the doorframe, causing the locks to get loose. Evan's plan is now set in motion as he uses the force to stop Alina from moving, not wanting her to interfere between the upcoming showdown between Sir Carlson's banana tree and Lady Isabel's legendary buns. Spoiler alert for you sussy bacchus though, if I were you I'd place all my anime gold coins on Carlson clearing Isabel, since once you go white you always stay tight. Unfortunately for Lady Isabel though, Alina refuses the offer by pushing him away and tells Evan right in his face that he's crazy. So now the two are busy waiting to watch a sussy anime unfold from afar, the exact type you guys like to watch often, featuring a noble man and his noble lady. With the bedroom door now wide open and Carlson holding his belt with his right hand, Alina gives in and accepts Evan's deal, so he begins heading towards Isabel. At this point, Isabel is already speechless, knowing that repeated impending doom is about to be unleashed on her roast beef garden, since Carlson has already removed her diamond armor. However, right before Carlson is able to rocket his spaceship straight into Isabel's launch pad, Evan appears from behind to grab Carlson's arm. A surge of energy quickly discharges from our boy, causing the blasted Carlson to think he's getting attacked and punished by Denki, making him wish he never watched the last season of My Hero. After dispatching the maniac, Evan quickly takes advantage of the situation to steal a kiss from Isabel, where he also tells her that he's going to protect her from now on. Bro then winks at Alina as he picks up the knockout noble, ordering her to wait for him as he needs to put this man where he belongs first before claiming his reward for saving the mistress. Shortly after dealing with business in regards to Carlson, Bro teleports back to the room Alina is waiting at and instantly begins harvesting the peaches he was promised with both hands. With the demon getting a handful of the very firm and large peaches, he decides to activate Force Push on his Alina, as he believes it's now time to fully enjoy and stretch out every part of his reward. To his surprise, he finds no need to tell her what to do next, since she quickly gets into perfect rice cake smashing position herself, looking like she's already ready for Phase 2 of the boss battle. Finally, the sussy Fire Nation shows up and invades, causing our boy to whip out his barbecue chicken he's been marinating for a long time. Bro then wields his barbecue chicken like a mighty stick, ready to vanquish any foe, so he uses it to enter Alina's precious land that's already steaming like a waterfall. With the meat of the stick proving to be 100% effective against its counterpart, Evan starts to think about how this noble maid could act all strict and mighty all the time, but in reality, she's been trying really hard to hide how wet her noodle is. Long story short, Evan pulled out all the stops he could think of to help his French ship demolish the British Empire set before him, as he always imagined for this day to come, and now it's become reality. A flashback then occurs right before he transformed into Chadamus Prime, where we learn that he's always had a thing for Alina, since she always seems so clean and elegant. Unfortunately for him though, she never really saw him as more than a servant, so she pretty much ignored him all the time as she deemed him too dirty. So the only thing he could do is be a sussy Becca instead. And with no phones or ways to take pictures, he used the power of his mind to help him imagine all the power plays he could do to her. Back to the present, Evan starts uncontrollably smiling as he never thought this day would come. And what's even better is the fact that she has blown all his expectations, especially since his ship could barely pass her straight since it's too narrow. Regardless, after just 1 minute, Captain Evan looks like he's about to abandon ship as he can't control the waves from crashing in. So he ascends like a monk, trying his best to make sure his ship does not spill milk into the Sea of Alina. It's too late now though, as he loses the battle versus his muse, since he could not handle her restricting attacks, since fair maidens are the most dangerous of them all. Nonetheless, Evan is seen sweating more than a sweaty pro Fortnite player trying to place high in the cups, so he admits defeat and lets his anime water hose free, causing a fire hydrant-like pressure to attack Alina. After finishing their duel between the French and the British, Bro plops back down on a nearby couch to drink some water, as he ended up emptying his water mass. Regardless, as our boy is busy being a water fiend, a confused Alina questions him as to why he let Chris Brown free, since he's a menace to society. He reasons with her that it's better to keep him alive to prevent any power struggles within the family from occurring, especially since his sons are even more barbaric than Carlson. Evan then rizzes her up by mentioning that he doesn't want anything to go wrong for her and Isabel when it's time for him to leave the mansion, so he's going to try his best to make the castle a safe space for them. Of course, it already looks like she's deeply fallen in love with him, so he doesn't have to do much thanks to his powers and thanks to his gigantic banana tree plantation. Shortly after patting Alina's head, Bro steals her bed and orders her to turn off the lights as he's got a busy day tomorrow, but she doesn't mind getting bossed around by her newfound love. After turning off the lights, Alina attempts to go to sleep on the ground beside her bed, only for her to be stuck, continually thinking about wanting a second round. Fast forward to the next morning, Evan has already gone to work on his plan for revenge. This time he's decided to steal all the other males' vitality points to make him stronger. As he zaps the life force out of all the male servants that used to beat him up, he starts laughing as he slowly witnesses them age, giving them hairlines akin to my goat LeBron James. Suddenly, Master Carlson wakes up from his living nightmare and quickly rushes out of the room while saying nothing, so Evan sarcastically wishes him a safe journey, since it looked like he dropped a dookie in his pants. Eventually, night falls with not much going on as the noble is nowhere to be found. Plus, there's not much work to do when no one is ordering him around. Unfortunately, I spoke too soon as Chris Brown returned home way past midnight, barging straight into his bedroom looking like the most punchable face you could imagine. He then yells at Isabel to open up her treasure box so he can sneak his salami in, but she refuses and tries her best to fend off the aggressive noble, Luckily for her though, her new knight in shining armor comes to her rescue at the perfect moment, waiting till the last possible second to zap the living heck out of Carlson. With her husband now defeated again, Isabel instinctively latches on to the demon, looking like she wants a real salami this time. The sussy turntables then turn again once Isabel closes her eyes, allowing Ivan to invade and pinpoint all her weakest spots on her spaceship. However, right before they were able to get down to business, Alina pops out of nowhere, causing the lady to run away, not wanting to be seen becoming a sussy Becca. Success, it works as the maid did not suspect a thing, so Ivan ends up turning his attention to the new bakery in front of him, thinking to himself that two at the same time would be better than one.